What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, June 29th. Wednesday means New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day means New Comic Book Haul video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for another big old stack of books and a bunch of other collected editions as well. This was a much bigger week than last week. Real quick, guys, if you are on the Whatnot app and you're looking for a great seller, a great channel to buy really cool things from, check out Infinity Flux. They are at Infinity Flux Comics, all one word, on Whatnot. It will be linked in the description below. They have 3 shows a week. They do a new show on Monday, a toy show on Wednesday, and then like a cool show on Friday. Usually it's like Silver and Bronze Age stuff, but there's always some extra cool things in there as well. So if you're on Whatnot and you're looking for some cool stuff to buy from some cool people, be sure to check them out. So let's start with Marvel, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 4. Now, you guys know that I love Spider-Man. I've loved him all my life. You guys also know I haven't been loving this new series so far. And at one point, I even said that there was something that's in this storyline that I didn't love because it undoes a lot of character work that we saw in the last run. Well, also, the other day, or I've made a couple of videos about how people shouldn't judge TV shows based on 1 or 2 episodes. They have to let the whole thing play out, right? Well, I should have taken my own advice and not judged this series too harshly after only just a couple issues, because this one was actually pretty good. There was a really interesting twist at the end, and the thing that I was upset that had gotten undone turns out maybe that's not the case. So like maybe I should have just like waited a little bit more and read this issue. I really enjoyed this. Is my favorite of the 4 issues of this series so far. There's still a whole lot of weirdness going on that I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about, but I'm going to reserve my judgment until I read some more issues and all that plays out. But I did like this one. I thought the ending was really, really clever. I did not see it coming. And yeah, so this is kind of, I'm still cautiously optimistic, but this has kind of re-energized me on this series. Next, we've got Captain America Symbol of Truth number 2. And this one was really fun as well. I enjoyed the first issue, but it was a lot of setup. Sam Wilson, in the first issue, Sam Wilson, Cap, and Falcon were tracking this, some stolen super soldier serum, but it turned out to be something else. So now Sam is trying to get more answers about that. His search for information and knowledge takes him to Latveria, where he crosses paths with Deadpool. I don't like comic book Deadpool. The movie version's fine. I don't like Deadpool in the comics. It's just a whole lot of chatter for nothing. But I really like Deadpool in this. I really like their team up. This is a team up that you wouldn't expect, but it worked really well. They're in Latveria, so you can expect what's coming. I'm really excited for that. And plus, we get some more of what I think of as the new Falcon. He's been Falcon for a while. I think it's Joaquin Torres is his name, but I'm not really familiar with him. But we get some more of him in this issue, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying this book. It's only 2 issues in, but I think they are setting up for a really cool adventure. Next is the new Fantastic Four number 1. So this is kind of like that Ben Reilly Spider-Man miniseries that just wrapped up that was a new story but took place back when Ben Reilly was Spider-Man. So this is a new story that takes place back when these 4 were filling in as the Fantastic Four. And they only did that for like 3 issues, but this is another story with them sort of filling that role. And it was pretty good. Not quite as good as I wanted it to be. I just thought the story was a little bit weird. But yeah, I mean, I'll take any time that these 4 get together. I'm really on board with that. So I'm not sure. I might wait and just read this digitally on Marvel Unlimited. I'm trying to cut back on all the miniseries. But I also really like this team, so I might I might continue on with it. I'm not really sure, but this one was really fun. Next is Iron Man and Hellcat Annual number 1. So I'm super duper far behind on the Iron Man series, and I feel like I should probably catch up on that before I read this. So this is going to go in the ever-growing to-read pile, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with them. I've heard all kinds of stuff. I don't know what's really going on, but this should help fill me in. So for my sister, I picked up Marvel Voices Pride number 1. She asked me to get this for her. This is the Loki variant. Yeah, so I'm gonna read this one digitally. I requested my code from my digital code from Marvel earlier today. I'll probably get that tomorrow. Then I'm gonna read it digitally then, just so I don't have to open this one up and I can give it to her as is. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the Loki story. I'm not sure what all other stories are in this one, but I think this one should be a lot of fun. Next up is She-Hulk number 4 with the awesome Spider-Man 60th anniversary variant. I've been trying to get as many of these as I could, and this series continues to be a lot of fun as well. It's not overly complex, it's just fun. Especially the first half of this is fun, just She-Hulk stories, her and Titania fighting, but doing it for fun, just because they just have fun doing it. Ben Grimm shows up. She gets a lot of new clientele in this, which is really interesting, seeing a bunch of heroes together. And then the back half of this is continuing the mystery of Jack of Hearts, who he really is, why he's alive again, that kind of thing. And then it ended with a really cool cliffhanger. Another character, we don't know who, we haven't seen him or her, but another character says, "I found you," and they're like looking at that character all stunned. So yeah, so I don't know who that is, but I can't wait to find out, and I'm just loving the series. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus number 3, so I still haven't read number 2 yet. I can't believe that, because I love Spider-Man 2099. So yeah, I couldn't read this one because I haven't read the last one. But the last one introduced Loki 2099. This one introduces the Avengers 2099. Check out that. I'm assuming that's 2099 Black Panther, I guess. Hulk, we got Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Knight, maybe? Captain, I don't know. I mean, that all looks awesome, so hopefully we'll get to see a lot of these characters. Next is the Variants number 1. So this is a Jessica Jones-centric story. I think, from what I understand, she goes bouncing through the multiverse, but I don't remember why. Honestly, I'm not going to buy this whole miniseries. I just got this one because of that awesome Scotty Young cover. It's very meta, where he says, "So you want me to do one of my variants of you and your variants on a book titled Variants?" I just thought that was a fantastic cover. I've become a really big Scotty Young cover fan. When I wasn't always, I didn't always seek his covers out, but now I love them, and I couldn't pass this one up. And then last for Marvel is Venom Lethal Protector number 3, just continuing. This is another one of those miniseries that takes place back when, back around the time of the first Venom Lethal Protector miniseries. So Eddie Brock is still in the Venom suit, none of the King in Black stuff. He's just standard old Venom, still hating Spider-Man and all this. He does face off against Chance, so that's the guy in the green from the famous Amazing Spider-Man 298 and 299 covers. Venom learns a little bit more about why he's being attacked by so many villains, and I'm really, this is a lot of fun. I love the artwork in this too, by the way. So this is just a really fun story of Venom as he was when I was a kid, so it tickles that nostalgia bone, and I can't wait to see what happens next. As for DC, we've got Action Comics number 1044, just continuing the War World storyline. You guys know that I'm loving this series, right? This storyline, I mean. But this issue and the one before it, these last couple parts, these last couple chapters, I guess, of the War World storyline, I haven't loved as much, and the story is starting to get away from me a little bit, meaning I don't really know what's going on. Like, I read this issue, and I didn't really get it. I'm not really sure what's happening. It's been a while since we've seen a lot of, I don't want to sound shallow and say since we've seen a lot of action, but it's been very lore heavy the last couple of issues, especially with Mongul's origin and that kind of thing. So I'm definitely going to keep going with the storyline, because overall I think it's going to be such a great story. It's going to make such a great collected edition when it's all said and done. But I just haven't really loved the last couple chapters. But overall, the story is still fantastic. Batman Catwoman number 12. So this is the end, finally. It feels like this has been running for like 3 years or whatever. But this is finally the end. I haven't even started reading the series yet. But now that it's finished, I can finally start. DC vs. Vampires Killers. So I haven't been reading the DC vs. Vampires series. I'm going to wait for the collected edition. I did get the first issue, and I thought it was pretty cool. But I figured it would be a better collected edition, so I'm just waiting for that. But I couldn't pass this cover up. It's drawn by Brett Booth, one of my favorite artists right now. And it's an homage to, I can't remember which number, and I hate that I can't, but it's an homage to the famous Todd McFarlane cover. Was that around year 2, I think? I'm not real sure. I can't remember. But, and Batman's a vampire in this, and just, I mean, the cape and everything, so I had to get this just for the cover alone. Deathstroke Inc. number 10, part 1 of Deathstroke year 1. I don't know how long, I think it's like 5 or 6 parts. But yeah, Deathstroke is getting his own year 1 storyline. This issue was really cool. It's exactly what you would expect. It's year 1 of Deathstroke. We open the issue with with Deathstroke having just gone through the procedure that gives him his enhanced strength and stamina and all that kind of stuff, he doesn't take to it at first. It sort of adversely affects him, but he becomes acclimated over time, and we see that he sort of struggles to go back to a normal life and starts doing other things to make up for it. This was really good. I've seen a couple things that online that have said, do we really need a Deathstroke year one? It's great. Like, it's really cool. Like, I love Deathstroke, and I would love to know more about his early days as Deathstroke. So yeah, I am completely on board to keep going with this series. Next is Detective Comics number 1061. So this is the conclusion of the storyline that's been running with seemingly regular citizens committing pretty blatant crimes and confessing to it and just wanting to be taken to jail immediately. So we get some answers, we find out the connection between them all, and we get a resolution to it. It was a pretty good it's a pretty good finale, I guess. It was for an overall, the story was really good, but there was a lot of characters to keep up with, and it was sort of hard at some times. And there was another character that popped up in this that I thought shouldn't have popped up because of something that happened in another storyline, which sort of made it a little bit disconnected for me. Ivan Risto on art, which is super cool. This overall, it was really good, but I thought the ending was just kind of okay. And last up from DC is Robin number 15. This one was very good. It's a nice continuation, or not a continuation, but just it takes place right after the Shadow War storyline just ended. Robin, we see Robin, and we get some nice moments, I'll say, with Robin and Talia al Ghul and Batman all together. This sets up the next story for Robin. He goes back to Lazarus Island. He wants to turn it into a place for people who need help like him, and we get a little bit of Connor Hawke in it, and the end sets up the story to come, and it looks like we're going to get a story with Robin and Connor and a couple of the other characters from the tournament that he's been in up until now. The art continues to be great. The story is super interesting. This is one of my favorite books from DC right now. As for Image and the other indies, we've got Image 30th Anniversary Anthology, number 3. I couldn't remember the title. I haven't read the first 2 yet, and this is a 12-issue series. I'm so far behind. I think I'm going to hop off of this and maybe wait for a trade or something like that. These books are full of new stories that are probably really good. I'm just so far behind. I'll just wait for them to be collected. All right, so this one right here is, so far, of the ones that I've read this week so far, this one is my favorite. So this is the first issue of Public Domain. This is by Chip Zdarsky. I just read this a little while ago, and it is fantastic. It's very meta. It takes place in the real world. There's nothing, super fantastical about this. But it's about a fictional character named the Domain. Think of him as he's like a really popular comic book superhero, and there is a movie coming out about this character. Now, the story follows a guy named Miles Dallas, who is a reporter. His father is named Sid Dallas, and he is either the creator or the co-creator of the Domain, the character in this. He's the artist on the original books. It gives vibes of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who created what, and it's all about, like I said, it's very meta. It's all about the people who create these characters that star in these movies that make billions of dollars, how the creators of the characters don't get what they deserve. They don't get the money that they deserve. It's all about that, but it's incredibly well done. There's a couple really touching moments that really kind of got me emotional. There's a couple of moments that are really funny that literally made me laugh out loud, like audibly out loud. The ending, something happened at the end that kind of throws the story on its ear a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So where I normally try to get, most of my indie books in collected editions because they're just better read that way, this one's going to make a great collected edition, but this was just so good. I'm definitely buying this one in single issues. Again, this was my favorite one of all the ones that I've read. I highly recommend you check this one out. Next is Scorch number 7, the beautiful Mattina variant. Say it with me, kids. I haven't read any of the Spawn books yet. I'm super far behind, so this is going to get thrown in the Spawn stack, and I will catch up at some point. So another one that was really, really up there this week, one that I figured would be pretty good, but I did not expect it to be as good as it was, Sins of the Black Flamingo #1. So this was really good. So it's about this guy. Shoot, I can't remember his name. He's a gentleman thief, is what it says in the beginning of the book, and he goes by the moniker of the Black Flamingo. So I thought at the beginning, okay, this is going to be a cool story about a thief, and he's going around taking, people are hiring him to steal back things from rich people to give back to the poor, something like that, right? It kind of is that, but there's a supernatural element to this too, like a pretty blatant, like it's not even like really subtle. Like somebody's using spells in one scene and he sees things differently, and this was fantastic. I was just really like, when it was over, I was like, oh, I want more. Like it ends on a cliffhanger. I want to know more about it. Yeah, this one was fantastic. I love stories about thieves and being all sneaky and everything, and then you throw in the supernatural element. This was fantastic. This may even be my #2 pick of the week so far. So that was all for Image, but for the other indies from Ablaze, we've got Life Zero #5. I haven't read the 4th issue yet, so I couldn't read this one yet. But I've said it before. This series is really good. It's not anything. It's a zombie apocalypse story, and it's not anything wildly different. It doesn't really set the genre on its ear or anything like that. But it's just interesting. Like it's I like these guys. These paramilitary team. They're trying to rescue their daughter, and all they have to navigate through zombies, and that's all you really need. So I don't know if it's gotten more complex since where I last left off, but even if it hasn't, it's still really good. Next from Boom is Berserker #9, the nice shiny foil variant. I'm actually like 2 issues behind. I don't think I've read issue 7 or 8, which is a shame because I really like the series. They're sitting right over there on my rack, my to read rack over there. So yeah, I haven't read this one, but I'm excited to catch up. And then the last of the indies and the last of the new single issues for the week is Mindset #1 from Vault. This one was also really interesting. This is about a guy, a college-age guy and his friends, and we learn through some flashbacks that they inadvertently figure out the secret to mind controlling people. Like they find this frequency, this pattern of sounds and colors that when a person sees it and hears it, it basically compels them to do whatever they're told to do. We see in the beginning of the book that takes place in present day that they have used that discovery in an app that's made them super rich, like billionaires and all that stuff. But what we don't know yet is, what the app really does, how they, what do they do with the app? Like most of it is flashbacks telling us how this all came about. And yeah, it's near the end when they actually find the discovery. And none of that's a spoiler. That's just what this is about. So I'm not spoiling anything. But the ending is still in the flashback. So we still have yet to see what happens in the present day. The art was a little scratchy. It was a little bit, I think the art in Department of Truth, it's kind of like that, although not quite as messy. Like it's a little bit more put together than that. Still a little bit rougher than what I prefer, but it kind of worked for this book, and yeah, this was another really good one. So I picked up a couple issues from the dollar bins as well. I got X-Men and the Micronauts #1. So you guys know that I've been enjoying finding the Micronauts issues. I love when I can find back issues that are not available digitally, nor are they collected in a collected edition. I've been getting a lot of Micronauts because of that. I had X-Men and the Micronauts #2 that I just found randomly, and now I've got #1 to go with it. I got a couple more Punisher War Zone comics. I got #8 and #9 for the simple fact that I have 1 through 7, my originals from when I was a kid, and now these can just be added to that. And then I got one issue, not from the dollar bins, but from the lots of dollars bins. This is Amazing Spider-Man #315. So I've been looking for issues 315, 316, and 317. Not because they're keys or whatever, I don't care about any of that stuff. But I have that gap in my collection from like Amazing Spider-Man 260 something all the way to the end at 441. I have all of them consecutively except for these three, 315, 316, and 317. The Marvelous Megan at Infinity Flux knows that I've been looking for those for a while. She texted me the other day and let me know that she found 315 and 317, so she put them in my pull box. And I went ahead and bought this one today. It's a little pricier, so I'm getting the next ones next week. But yeah, super happy to have this. people love it because it's, got an appearance of, it's the first appearance of Venom on a cover, whatever. I don't care about that. I just wanted to fill the hole in my run of Amazing Spider-Man, and now I am one step closer. But the fun doesn't stop there. I've got some really cool collected editions as well, starting with What's the Furthest Place from Here, the very first trade paperback. I've been excited for this one. I bought these first 2 issues when they came out originally and read them, really enjoyed it. But it kind of gave me Walking Dead vibes, not because of zombie apocalypse and all that stuff, although it is a post-apocalyptic story. Not because of zombies or anything, but just because there's a lot of characters, and a lot of stuff is going on with a lot of characters, and it was hard to keep up with. So I decided to just wait for the collected edition, because I really enjoyed it. I was enjoying the world and the story they were telling. I just wanted to read all at once, and here it is. The next one is Basilisk Volume 2, the Volume 2 trade paperback. I bought all the issues that were in Volume 1. I bought all of those individually. I loved it, but then thought, well, I'm, again, in an effort to try to cut down the number of books I'm buying every week, I'll wait for the collected edition of Volume 2. Here it is. So I don't know where the story has gone since like issue 5 or 6 when the last one I read was. I guess it was 4, because this only collects 5 through 8, so I guess I only read the first 4 issues. But I really liked it when I was reading it, and I can't wait to see where the story goes in this. The next one is one that I pre-ordered a while back, and I thought it came out a while back, and I thought maybe it just didn't show up, maybe my shop didn't get it, but it was there today, so I thought, okay, sure. So this is the trade paperback for a series called Unborn. This is from Source Point Press. I bought the first couple issues in singles, but I never read them. But this is kind of, this is a sci-fi space exploration story, but, the folks in this are mining for minerals, from what I understand. But then they have to deal with aliens, so it's kind of like from what it sounds like, it gives me like vibes of Aliens, right? The Aliens movie. So yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure. I have not even really looked through this, but I like Alien and Aliens and all those movies, and we'll see how this holds up. So the next one is one that I don't know much about. It's called The Dark Room. It's from Image. It's a hardcover, and this is a single story. So this isn't really a collected edition. This is just one story. This is the first time and the only way that it's available, at least for right now. But from what I understand, this is kind of going to set up a horror universe. I don't remember if this is the one that's like an anthology thing or not. But it sounds really cool. I guess somebody is, looking for a camera that has an undeveloped photo of the face of evil. And then, so you can imagine how that might go. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but when I pre-ordered it, it sounded really awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to crack into this one. And then last but not least is The Boys Omnibus Volume 2. So this collects, I don't even know what it collects. It collects a bunch of issues of The Boys. The only unfortunate thing about this is I don't have Volume 1. I did pre-order that from my shop, but it never came in. So I have a Volume 2 without a Volume 1, which is kind of a bummer. But I can track it down at some point. I think Volume 1 only came out last week, so I'm sure it's still out there, easy to get. But I've been enjoying the TV show, and I never read the comics, and I thought this would be a great way to do it. So as soon as I track down Volume 1, I'm going to grab it, open it up, read it, and then we'll move on to this one. So that's it, guys. That is another awesome haul, a much bigger week than last week, but I think next week and the week after are smaller weeks. So sometimes everything just lands on the same day, and what are you gonna do? But guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment below and let me know what you picked up this week. Was it a larger than normal week for you? Did you get a lot of cool collected editions? Whatever you got, just let me know. I love comic books. I could talk about it with a room full of people or just to a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They are just another fun form of storytelling, fun stories, fun art. The vast majority of them are fictional. They're all made up, so none of it really matters anyway. There is clearly a lot of stuff out there. It's super easy to just look through everything, find something that interests you, and for the things that don't interest you, it's super easy to just simply ignore those and let everybody else enjoy those things. Also, don't forget, it doesn't matter how much you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the things you buy matter to you. They get you excited. They're special to you. Whether it's 1 book, 10 books, 100 books, it doesn't matter how many, as long as the things that you buy really mean something to you. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.